I'll give a great example. You know, fathers, we get a bad rap of sometimes being tough guys. We don't show emotion. And it's not that we don't want to show emotion. It's not that we're not trying to show emotion. Sometimes we are showing emotion by not showing you the emotion. The emotion that we're showing you and the love and the care that we're showing you is actually standing stoically, heroically next to you no matter what happens. No matter what you do, no matter how far you've fallen, no matter where you end up. We're just there. And I'll tell you what that looks like. I know people who have been accused of not going down the rabbit hole, not crying, not breaking, someone who just stands there in the midst of everything. But I want you to take a good look at this. I want you to really hit your rewind switch and go back to that instance, that situation where maybe you were hurting and this father just stood next to you. Maybe you were hurting and this father offered you a way out. Maybe in that moment, in that second, you didn't think you needed a way out. But based upon their experience in life, based upon them watching everything going around you from a different vantage point, from a different POV, almost like a military officer being able to watch the battlefield from a drone above, but you're in the ground and you're in the bushes, and it's scary when you're in the bushes. You don't know what's going on. But you've got this individual who's overseeing, who's looking at you from a 360-degree vantage point, who is trying to guide you and get you through a situation. And I know in the moment is not the time to feel and receive the emotion you want to receive. You've just lost your job, you're upset, you just had a bad situation with a boss, and your dad says to you, hey, I've got a friend who's hiring, maybe I can get you another job. And you're thinking, you're not hearing me, I just had this horrible experience. I'm emotionally scarred. I'm battered, I'm beaten, I'm bruised. And once again, here you go. You're just trying to solve my problem by giving me a job. You don't understand me. But this father may realize that you've had 4 other bad breaks, tough situations that occurred before this one just occurred. And the worst thing in the world that could happen to you is to stay in this situation too long until something else bad happens. Until you start to focus on all the negative things. Sometimes the best resolution is to be able to move to the best and most safe area. When you're in a military situation and people are wounded and it's scary and things are crazy, sometimes the best alternative is to move you to a non-hostile zone so that you can rebuild, so you can get medical care, so you can reload, whatever it is you need in that moment. Sometimes the best thing to do is have a hero who can go into the hot zone and medevac you out. That's what a good father does sometimes when they need to. And I know sometimes you feel, I'm not finished with this fight yet. I know I'm out of ammo. I know I'm bleeding. I know I'm hurt. But I am emotional and I want to keep swinging for a while. And they just come and they grab you and they extract you. And you're so upset because you just weren't ready to stop fighting yet. Sounds crazy, right? You know, when children make bad decisions, and God knows I've made a lot of bad decisions. And there's been times where I just knew when my father finds out, he is going to be pissed. He is going to be disturbed. He is going to be brokenhearted. His pride's going to be bruised. And you know what? Maybe I'm right. All those things happen. But let me tell you what my father would do. He would still show up. And he may not be excited about this moment. But he was there. He extracted me out of the situation. And you know what? You got to pay the price. So sometimes people say this, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Why can't you just give me the money? Why can't you just give me the help and let me go figure it out? Why do you always have to say something? Why do I always have to get your input? Why do you always have to give me the story or the speech? if you're willing to pay Uber to pick you up and give you a ride somewhere, you'd pay the bill for an ambulance, you'd pay the bill for a limousine. When someone transports you from location A to B, there's going to be a price to pay. And if the price is just someone trying to pour some love and affection and knowledge and wisdom into you, if that's the price you have to pay sometimes in order to receive that love, then that's the price. I was part of an extremely interesting project, and I can't tell you the name of it because it's still in development and production. But it was about, I'll keep it 30,000 feet here for you. It was about the children of highly successful people. And it was interesting because these children of these highly successful people, these children would, it showed their life. How do they behave? How do they live currently as a result of having a famous doctor for a mother, a famous entrepreneur for a father, a performer? You know, my dad played in the NFL, or my mom was, you know, a top secret scientist, or a military colonel, or a general, or a politician. And it was very interesting to see some of the case study behind these young people, behind these children of highly successful and sometimes famous parents. And the interesting thing was this: if you only listen to one side of the story, you would think every one of these parents were monsters. You would think this dad who was in the military was a monster. You would think this dad who, you know, was a pastor was a monster. You would think this dad who was a coach was a monster. And it's interesting. Why do some children who have high performance parents, and some people are bad, and today we're only talking about the people who are genuine fathers, who love their families, love their children, have their best interest at heart, and transferred that love to them the best way they knew how. That's what we're talking about today. We're not talking about the bad guys. Okay? So some of these children felt stressed out because they felt they needed to live a life. They felt they needed to meet an expectation. And they were always in constant competition with this parent. And that can be tough. But when I talked to any of the parents, any of the fathers that were still living, they really didn't care if their son was in the NBA like he was, or they didn't really care if their son was a, you know, national recording artist like they are. They didn't care if their son, you know, was a physician, a politician, you know, world-class entrepreneur. They did all these things, and they poured as much as they could into their children because they just wanted them to succeed. That's it. One of the number one most important things to a father is that they want their children to be able to succeed and be happy. They want their children to be free mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. They want them to be healthy. And so before this individual dies, before these fathers die, they want to pass something on. They want to leave this legacy behind. And oftentimes children think, you just want me to be like you. That's not it. That really isn't it. If you take a step back and you watch how these fathers influence other people around them, you'll start to see a common thread. They're not trying to make everyone around them Victor Youngs or Larry Morgans. What's up, Uncle Larry? Hope you're having a great Father's Day today. You're probably out on the I'll Make It Happen somewhere. Weather's good. Out on the boat. Anyway, Colonel Preche, hope you're out there listening. Another one of my father figures and mentors out there. But anyway, back to the story here. They're not trying to make you like them. They're not trying to mold you into this twin, this individual that does everything they do, walk the way they walk, eat the way they eat, do everything the way they do it. What they're trying to do is give you everything they have. And I think that is a byproduct of someone who loves unconditionally, who is willing to continually show up and invest and pour into someone. And when I say invest, I don't mean financially. It could be financial elements involved, but it's not about the money. And sometimes people also confuse with someone investing in them as a financial thing. That is small thinking. If you're walking around looking at every little word someone says and they use the word invest, and you think about money, that goes to that your mind is in the wrong place. Your mind is completely in the wrong place. I use that term all the time. I want to invest in you. Well, if you don't have a damn thing for me to invest in, what am I investing in? You're broke. You don't have a job. You don't have a company. I'm telling you, I want to invest in you, and you're going, you just want me to be your slave. You want me to make you money. You're not making money right now. How in the hell could you bring me back an investment? When I say I want to invest in you, I'm saying I want to give you my time, my resources, my network, love, whatever it is. I'm sharing who I am as a human. That is the investment I like to make in you. That is the investment that a father makes into this child that he loves. That when he dies, he knows if there is anything left, this child knows how to take care of it. They can maintain the legacy. What does the legacy mean? Maybe it's a farmhouse that everyone just gets to go to and have reunions every year and have a barbecue and be able to continually talk about the family history. I don't know. Maybe it is a company, but maybe that company takes care of thousands of people and they want their child to be able to make sure those people are safe, and they want to be able to pour into their child to make sure this child becomes the gatekeeper and this person who can take care of these other people. Maybe the investment is they just want you to be happy. Maybe the investment is there's a hereditary disease. Maybe there's diabetes and high blood pressure that runs in the family, and maybe they just want you to have an opportunity to live safe, eat healthy, work out, and live the lifestyle they weren't able to live because they worked too darn much. When you talk about investments, when you talk about someone, this father investing in their children, it happens for a lot of different reasons. And amazing children are able to carry some of this knowledge that these fathers leave behind, that they leave behind. And so these children that are willing and welcome and really just out there receiving this knowledge from these great fathers, they're able to distribute this knowledge. And that's a beautiful thing. Think about this for a minute. You have this father who works, and mothers do it as well, but this is the Father's Day Tribute Podcast. Moms, back up 2 weeks, episode 2, season 3, you hear the Mother's Day Tribute. Today we're talking about fathers. So you have this father who worked extremely hard and built a company. And this company employs thousands of people. And this company creates great technologies that save lives. Why would you not want your kid to be a part of that? But being a part of that means you got to learn something. So let's fast forward. This father builds a multi-million-dollar company, and boom, one day he's dead. And unfortunately, a lot of people who have these relationships where they're struggling to see what's truly going on with this father trying to transfer this love, this wealth, this power, this knowledge, this safety, this security, this health, this wealth, whatever it is. Sometimes they're unable to see what's really going on because they're struggling and they're looking at each individual thing. They're just saying, I just want you to give it to me. If you really truly love me, you'll just give me the inheritance when you die. You're not dying here soon enough. Come on, kick off. How long are you going to live, old man? They're actually not only trying to give you what you might blow in a week or a year because you have no idea how to maintain what this man has worked a lifetime to build. They're trying to teach you how to build a platform of all the generations beneath you. Meaning, not only the children of the father, but the children's children of the Father should be able to benefit if he's able to transfer this knowledge, transfer this wealth forward, onward, downward, however you want to look at it, transfer it to his children. And I get it, kids. When we're growing up, we're like, I don't want to be like my parents. I want to make my own. And I get it. But sometimes if you spend less time fighting and more time just acknowledging the growth of this individual and what they're trying to say to you, what they're trying to teach you, you'd be amazed at what happens. I was at an event and a father spoke and a lot of people spoke and they were you know, basically acknowledging this man and how he gave so much of his time to the community. He gave so much of his time to other families and other children and other young people and other adults. And it was interesting because this individual could easily be misinterpreted as someone who is a control freak, someone who's a narcissist, because he's, you know, some people can think he's doing it for himself. But sometimes you can think that way when you don't understand that when someone has that on their spirit, when someone actually, that's what they get up for every day. They wake up so they can bless someone else. They wake up so they can transfer knowledge or wealth or whatever it is to someone else. Those are some of the things that are interesting for a lot of people because they don't understand it. And what I've found is when you don't understand something, when you've never done something, there's no way for me or anyone else to convince you that it's good, to convince you that it's real, to convince you the intentions behind it, because you've never experienced it. So the only way sometimes you can experience these things is if you take a break or take a step back and watch the walk of this individual. And what do I mean by watching the walk of the individual? What I'm saying is this: how are they engaging people? Are they changing lives? Some of the things they say may be tough. Some of the things they say may be, contrary or the opposite of what you want to do on a daily basis. Sometimes they may want you to focus on the things that you enjoy doing least, but make the biggest impact in others' lives. These individuals can be so selfless that people actually see it as being selfish because they think everything they do is for gratification. And what I find is this: these individuals give their lives on a daily basis to make change for others. But if you've never experienced it, it's easy to look back at this individual and say, the only reason you did that was so that you could get some more likes, some more follows. The only reason you did that is so you could get a reward for it. The only reason you did that is for more money. What do they do with their money? These people are normally leaders. These fathers normally give money to charities. These fathers give themselves. They volunteer. They do all these other things. And they live a lifestyle to leave an inheritance behind. And one of the worst things in the world, when it comes to an inheritance is the fact that sometimes you're just terrified that if you work 40, 50, 60, 70 years of your life and you leave something behind and no one knows how to manage it, that entire legacy, everything you've worked for, all the people that you have worked for, that you have slaved for, that you have labored for, that you have invested in, everything goes down the tube just because no one knows how to maintain this empire, this legacy. And it's a scary thing. It's extremely scary. So I know it's hard to understand the mind of a father, the mind of a strong individual. It's a very difficult thing to do. And it can't be said in words because sometimes these individuals aren't the best with their words. Sometimes they're not the ones going to hug you and, tell you a bunch of sloppy, lovey-dovey stuff. But they're going to show you through their walk. They're going to show you through their actions because normally when the chips are down, they're the person that's there for you. So these are some of the things that I want you to really be able to watch and pay attention to. It's not just about the fact that we have these individuals who are going to give us money. Sometimes the things they do to us are providing an environment conducive to our success. And this is something else that people don't understand is this. If you haven't watched The Lion King, I want you to watch The Lion King. There's a scene in The Lion King I love. And it's the scene where Mufasa takes Simba out and he's basically looking over this horizon and there's this just miles and miles and miles of land. And he says, son, everything you can see with your eye from here, basically. I'm paraphrasing it. Basically, everything you can see from this point belongs to you. This is our kingdom. But everything outside of that kingdom is not yours. And what does Simba want to do? Simba immediately wants to go outside and he wants to explore what's on the other side because, of course, whatever looks on the other side looks better. And that's how we think sometimes. And I get it. Sometimes we want to prove to this strong individual in our lives, I can do it without you. I don't need you. But you know what? Think about a lot of the families that are wealthy families today that we get upset about. The Bush family. That's a great example. The Bush family. Well, the only reason he's president is because his dad was president. Okay, maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. But if my father was the president of the United States and he opened the gateway for me to be the president, I wouldn't be jackwagon enough. I wouldn't be an idiot enough. I wouldn't be into myself to the point where I'd say, I don't want anything to do with it because my dad was there first. The families that create generations of legacy and wealth and cures for diseases and solve problems all over the world and help people, these are families that over time have continually grown and evolved in a way that they're able to leverage this wealth, to leverage this environment conducive to growth and success, and they do something with it. So you can't get pissed off at somebody who is at least smart enough to continue to walk in their father's shoes. Mom, sorry, that was 2 weeks ago. But to continue to walk in their father's shoes, who kicked down doors and went through hell to be able to pass something over to you, don't be mad at them. So for all you people out there who are upset with your fathers because you think they're too strong or they're too this and they're too that, I want you to stop and take a step back for a minute and ask why they do it. Because they got other stuff to do, just so you know. Dads are not so bored that the only thing they have to do is try to make their children successful and show them unconditional love and give them protection. They got other stuff to do. There's other people. There's other kids out there that would love to have a unconditional loving father and would say, you know what, I love the knowledge and the time and the energy that you pour into me because I don't have a father that does that. So thank you, sir, and I appreciate you. There's other people, places, and things this father could be doing instead of continually trying to invest in someone who pushes back and doesn't understand what they're trying to do or accomplish. So, and that's not coming from an egotistical place because people always say, I get the people who want to go back and say, boy, you sound like an egomaniac. It's not about ego. It's the truth, buddy. Busy people who have businesses and who have families and children and people who depend on them, they have other ish to do. They don't need to track you down and run you down or try to force something amazing on you. That can be a fault because we can push to a fault. And what I think sometimes we have to do is be able to give the opportunity for those who don't want it. And we have to make it readily available 24/7. If they ever want to act on it, it's there for them. And I do think that can be a place that I've had to learn to get better at because sometimes I can force opportunities and push opportunities because someone has verbally said they want to do something. And me, I'm this guy that, hey, if you say you want to do it, I want to help you get there. And so in my life, I've learned, fathers, I've learned, even outside of the father side of things, I've learned you can't push harder than some people are willing to be pushed. You can't give more than someone's willing to receive. If I keep pouring coffee or tea into this coffee cup, eventually it's going to overflow and it's going to make a mess. And so you have to know what the limitations are in someone's receiving and an ability to receive things. And just love unconditionally. Do what you're doing. Love unconditional. Keep them in a situation, stay in a position where you're just protecting, you're overseeing, you're providing network opportunity, and if they're willing to go there one day with you, it's a beautiful thing. And if they're not, figure a backup plan. Backup plan could be, find a trustee, find someone to overlook the estate, find someone who can manage things after you're gone, because I know that's a big deal. People who love their families want to make sure their families are safe, and they stress out about that. It's important to them, and they can become overbearing, and they could just become a little bit too much. So I wanted to talk to that one thing about fathers. I mean, there's a lot of great things that fathers do. I mean, showing up for the baseball games and making time, and those are the things that you're going to see fathers do later on in life. And sometimes it doesn't happen soon enough. Sometimes we want these fathers when they're 20s and 30s to be there more. But that's the most volatile time a father has in his life because he's trying to establish a presence for his family, who's trying to make sure his family's safe oftentimes and support the wife. And there's individuals going to school, there's education involved, there's stress in the company. And sometimes young fathers aren't able to dedicate the time and 100% of the focus they should have and wanted to. Just because they didn't doesn't mean they didn't want to. So as these fathers mature, as these fathers grow, you got to give them some slack. Especially when they put you through school, they kept you safe. They put you in an environment conducive to you being able to grow and learn and experience things they weren't even able to experience. Hell, you got to respect that, man. You got to have some respect for that. So cut your father some slack today. I know we can be overwhelming. There's a lot of different things I could have talked about today, but I really wanted to focus on that unconditional love, what it looks like, the mind of a father who can, who can be a overwhelming or overbearing at times. I want you to look behind their behavior and find out their intentions. And one of the things you can do to get there is stop assuming and start asking. Just start asking. Why do you do this? Why do you do it this way? Why do you do it this often? And if there's something they're doing that's not working for you, let them know. Let them know, if this is your intention, I'd like to see more of this out of you to help me get there. Now, if you're a lazy slacker and you say something just like, give me money and time and go away, I just want your money, no smart, loving, caring father is ever just going to give you a check and let you do something stupid with it. They just can't. I mean, they may for a little while because you're, junior and they love you. But, that cute stupidity, it ends after a while, just so you know. We're going to end with this. The older you get, the tougher it is for someone to give you something that you're unwilling to receive and you're unwilling to work for. So as you get older and you deal with your parents and you deal with your father and you deal with these bosses or whoever else you're dealing with, you got to understand that older you get, every day that you get older, the expectation is changing for you just like your expectation is changing for them. That expectation goes both ways. It's a two-way street. So, with that said, show your father some love today. We don't get a lot of love, especially the tough guys. People think we're too tough, and so they keep us at arm's distance most of the time. They think we're too busy. They think we got something to do. Don't buy the socks. I hate this damn socks. You don't even get the nice socks. Just don't even do the. Please don't bring me some underwear. What are you trying to say? I mean, really, don't buy me socks. Don't buy me underwear. Make me a card. Give me some low sodium Pringles. My sodium's high when I'm older here. Yeah. Matter of fact, I got some of these lightly salted, low sodium Pringles. These things are great for fathers. I don't know. Be thoughtful when you buy something for your dad, and even if it's time, spend a little bit of time with your dad. Go see a movie with him. I know as you get older, you want to spend less time with your father, but really, he wants to spend more time with you right now in life. And this is not the time for you to start proving to somebody that because they work hard for you to help you get somewhere and go through college and do these things, that now you can reward them by saying, I'm not going to spend time with you because you didn't spend enough time with me at some of my baseball game because your sorry butt was working, trying to take care of me. It's not the time to play the reindeer games, people. So give Dad a hug. Hell, we even like hugs sometimes. Kind of weird. Plotting on me when I get those hugs. But hey, we like hugs too. Some hugs, some low sodium stuff, no socks. We like technology, even a good movie. Make sure it's Blu-ray or minimum Blu-ray, but get 4K. You're gonna get a movie, get 4K for us. Get us something exceptional. Doesn't have to be much. It could be a rock. Polish your rock. But you got to get some work in. Just don't pick one up and walk in, it's still dirty. Do something to it. Engrave something on it. Smooth it out. Get some sandpaper on it. Whatever you do, if it's done from your heart, Dad's going to love it. You know why? Because we ain't got a lot of options. So anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for spending time with us. And check out our podcast. We've got 3 seasons of In Your Business on the Daily Life Coach. And this was just a tribute to our fathers today. But frankly, we normally are in your business. We're normally deep into the business mind, startups, raising capital, leadership. We really talk about a lot of other things. Engagement. Check us out, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and share this with your friends. If you have a friend who's got a tough relationship with their father or even their mother, send them to the last 2 weeks ago's episode of the Mother's Day tribute. Just learn more about who your parents are. Learn more. Learn where they came from, why they're the way they are. And although you may not be able to change them, you may be able to improve that relationship to the point where your children have a great relationship with them. And you know what? One day you're going to lose your parents. I'm not fortunate enough to have, either one of my parents. They both passed away. And so for you individuals who have your parents still here with you, it breaks my heart to see you struggle and wrestle and fight over something that's so trivial and so minor that once they're gone, you're going to look back and you're going to think to yourself, what was I thinking? These things were so silly. I separated myself from my parents and my family because of what? So if you are in one of those situations where you're estranged from your parents and your family, I want you to go back and really write down the reasons why. And when you write those reasons down, I want you to be able to justify, are they worth being away from your family? Are they worth not having that relationship and that love between your father or your mother? 99.9% of the time, unless it's something that's an abuse situation. Again, I understand that. Anything outside of some type of abuse, probably not worth it. So, enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers. And check us out. Matter of fact, we're going to have season 1 on CD on Amazon soon for the Daily Life Coach. And you can really grow in your business quite a bit. A lot for business planning, a lot for business growth, acquisition, private equity. We talk about a lot of cool stuff. And we talk about it in layman's terms so that you can get it, understand it, and apply it immediately. So we go beyond just motivation. We go beyond, inspiration. We go into operations and how to get it done. So thanks for joining us on this week's episode of In Your Business with the Daily Life Coach. Thank you for listening to our Father's Day tribute, and share it with a friend, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.